Hi, welcome to EFN Podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel. You can also follow us on Instagram on EFN Podcast.
Yo, what's up? My name is Jose. You can follow me on my IG. What is it?
Gym shoes?
There you go, Gym Shoes, or my other IG, Mini Mighty Bullies. Catch us here. Enjoy our podcast. It's going to be something else.
Yeah, so we're just going to be talking about nonsense, a whole lot of nonsense, stories that we have growing up, stories that you guys might want to share with us. You can give us a call. We'll set that up so, we can get some calls in and we'll have, straight up conversations about real shit, about anything that we want to talk about. There's no topic that is off. I think that's the beauty of
the podcast.
Having your own podcast. You do what the fuck you want. No censorship here. And cuss as much as you want. Who gives a shit, right? This is America.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's a little backstory on me. I worked at a company for 16 years. I gave 16 years of my life at this company, and I always wanted to do a podcast. For the last, I'm gonna say 8-9 years, I've been wanting to do a podcast, and
I just a leap.
Yeah, I never. So I always made excuses about I don't have the money, I don't got time, I don't have this, I don't have that, and I need to spend time with my girl, my kids, and this and this and that. So I always made excuses, and one thing led to another during the pandemic. Pandemic really fucked everything up, and I quit my job of 16 years, and it was kind of bittersweet because I, as much as I loved that job, I did love my job. It's just so much added up to me leaving, and I left, and I don't regret it. I think
appreciate.
I think it was a eye opener for me to kind of do my own thing and kind of find myself. And you know what? I was like, one day we were just chilling. It was me, my sister, and my brother-in-law. Jose is my brother-in-law. Yep. And we were just chilling outside, talking and laughing. And I love the conversations we were having. And we should start a podcast.
Just random shit.
Just random. We were just at random. It was late at night. It was like 1, 2 in the morning. And like, hey, we should start a podcast. And, because I've always wanted to do one. And I just threw the idea out there, and luckily you took the bait, and here we are.
With it. Yeah.
Here we are. So I'm grateful for the company I was with, and showing me everything that I know now, and everything that I have now because of it. But I think moving forward, I'm looking forward to this podcast and everything that we're gonna do with it. So
whatever we get out of it, branch out. Well, with me, a little bit of my background, I'm just a construction whore. I travel a lot of states. I did a lot of construction. That's about it. I always smoke. I started at a young age smoking pot. And I always wanted to have a YouTube channel reviewing buds and everything. But all my boys that I try to get with, they always flaked on me. Back then, when I wanted to do it like 6-7 years ago, it was still illegal here in California. So they didn't want to get caught. And then my shit that I wanted to do was review some of the dispensaries out here. And a lot of the people would have been upset with us. But besides that, I'm just grateful that Emmanuel came up with the idea when we were out there. And I said, I'm down. I'm going to write this. So I'm here to talk about whatever we want to talk about. That's the whole point about the podcast, because when we were talking out there, it was about everything that we all had in common. And to tell you the truth, was like stuff that I was growing up happening to me or watching, the same thing with him. So it wasn't like we weren't vibing. It was like a perfect vibe that day. So we're all like, might as well. I'm sure other people are just like us. They vibe well.
Yeah,
so that's the whole point of this.
Hey, you know what's funny though? I never really talked to you, even when
that's what I was telling your sister.
Yeah, like
we worked together.
We worked together. It was maybe 2-3 years ago. Mm-hmm. You guys got me into Home Depot.
Yeah.
I started working at Home Depot, and that's not the job that I worked at for 16 years. There's another job. I just don't want to put the name out there because I will talk a lot of shit about it. But Home Depot, fucking love that company. Yeah. So I was with Home Depot. I got in, and How long were you guys together before I started? I think what, like a year or two?
Nah, we were probably like 4 years already.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because we were, yeah, we lived around wherever we were at, and we never really hanged out. So
Yeah,
you
no.
know,
So
yeah,
I think. Oh, you know what? What it is that I'm very spiteful. So like, if you piss me off, I won't talk to you for shit.
I guess I pissed him off.
No, it wasn't you. I actually, me and Adriana had got into it.
Oh, no.
We had gone into an argument, and I hadn't talked to her. And then once we started talking, that's when she got me into. I think we started talking when I got the house. And that was I was 27 at the time. So we started talking again, and she got me the job at Home Depot.
Yeah.
And like, I would see you, but it was like, oh, hey, what's up? And then people will ask me about you. Like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, yeah. They always used to say, hey, you don't hang out with your brother-in-law? I'm like, nah.
Like,
nah. You don't hang out with anybody? I was like, I just do my shit. I told them.
And not to be, and it wasn't because I didn't like you or anything like that. It was just because, I was doing my own thing. I was working 12 hours at my other job, and then I would work another 8 over here. Or fuck, sometimes I would work 10 hours. I would do from 7 to 6.
Me,
I was fucking killing myself right there. Yeah.
Me, I was just an asshole. If you didn't even try, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am,
No, but you know what though? Like, I think that's why we click, because I'm a fucking asshole. Even though people don't see it. People don't see it. They think I'm this nice guy or whatever. I tell them.
Besides, and also he's jealous.
Yeah, I get really jealous. Really jealous. Like today, I saw you talking to some other dude. I was like, who the fuck is this guy talking to?
Oh, Cameron.
Yeah. Like,
my buddy from
that's
work.
my whore.
That's my buddy from work. Yeah.
Yeah. So but I'm glad that night we were hanging out, and we just, I think that was maybe one of the first nights that since I quit. Well, before I quit, I'd never talked to anyone, any of you guys. I was always working, and that's a bad thing, was that I was always working, and I day and night just work, and I never really got to bond with my family or anything. So when I quit and we started hanging out, that's when I realized, like, fuck, he fucking, this guy's all right. I'll put him on my payroll of ass cheeks.
I used to always hang out with my other brother-in-law, my sister's husband, Armando, but I went to high school with him, so some of those stories will have him in it, of my past in it. Yeah. But to tell you the truth, with everybody that I've been, every chick, I never really hung out with their brothers.
Oh, no?
Nah. Even if they had them, I just wasn't worth it. And then, like I always told Adriana, I was like, if they want to talk, they talk. If not, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm banging you, not him. So that's the way I see it. And you call me an asshole, but that's the way I see it. So, yeah. But the only one was probably Gabriel, but Gabriel's naturally more talkative and everything.
Yeah, well, the thing with Gabriel, Gabriel's my brother, and he gets along with anyone.
Yeah,
anyone. That doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
Where
it's just his personality.
From. Yeah, like, and it's probably because he has a lot of beer in him that he's just naturally open to everyone. But like, that's the thing about my brother, is that he's the life of the party. If you're having a bad day, just call him up. He'll be over, cheer you up real quick. Don't call me. I won't answer. I'm doing my own thing. Yeah. All dickish and shit. No, that's just Gabriel. He just draws people to him, and I think that's one thing that, even though I'm older than him, I kind of look up to him on that part. Yeah. Like, that's something that, like, shit, man. Like, if I could be that would be great.
Yeah.
Gabriel's just naturally open to everyone, so that's cool though.
He's open to everything.
All parts. There's no part of him that's not open.
Yeah.
Even Gabriel has some stories about some shit too.
I'm sure he does. He just doesn't want to fucking come on. But.
Yeah, nah, he won't come on this for the life of him.
Yeah. Well.
So, now, you grew up in the Valley, whereas I didn't.
35 years.
Yeah, whereas I have half my life here. in a year.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Santa Ana. Way different, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Over here is fucking hot as hell.
Yeah.
Hot as hell. I can't stand it. I lost a lot of friends because it was just too hot to go outside. Like, like in high school, I remember like I talked to some people and whatever, and then when they would invite me out to go out somewhere, I was like, nah, I'm good.
Wow.
This is I don't know how like
out here at night is different.
No, at nights like right now it's fresh as hell.
Yeah.
Like I love it out here when it's cold. Like during the winter when we do get a winter.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Well, depending what year you graduated high school, because I graduated 04 out here, and
I graduated 3 years after.
Yeah, so we didn't stop partying. Like, we didn't really party with high schoolers at that time either. But we were partying crazy our junior and senior year. Like, we were throwing ragers and shit. So everybody out here in the valley in 2003 and 4 were partying from 2001, 2, 3, and 4. If you were a high schooler, if you were from Coachella High, Indio High School, La Quinta, Cat City, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, you were all going to the same fucking parties. One way or another, you're going to meet someone from another fucking hood, and you were going to chill with them, or you're going to have trouble or get laid. Either one. It was crazy. I met so much people in the valley because of partying like that. Like, I made homies with a lot of people. And you know what's crazy? That I never seen them after this. Like, I don't know if they're dead or they just moved out of the valley.
You know what? I lost when I moved over here. I kept in contact for a little bit. I mean, there were some people that I stopped talking to right away just because I didn't have their numbers or whatever.
Because you didn't ask for them.
No, I didn't have a cell phone until I was 18.
I neither. I didn't have one. Back in my day, we had
I didn't.
Nokias and shit.
A pager,
a cinder block and shit.
You had a pager.
We're not. I gotta call this bitch. We're not in '90s, bitch.
I didn't have a cell phone until I was 18, and I only got a cell phone was the only reason why I got a cell phone was so I can hit up this girl, because she had a cell phone. I was like, fuck, I really like this girl, so I went to go get a phone and everything. The shit that you do for love, right? No, but so when I moved out here, I lost contact with a bunch of fools. Like, there's only a couple of people that I still talk to.
Yeah.
But the majority of my homies that I would consider brothers, I stopped talking to them. Like, I lost all contact with them because it's just the years went by and I never went over there. Like, how am I going to ask my parents to, hey, can you drive me 105 miles away from here to go?
Fuck was this?
Oh, it's another cable.
No.
Yeah, so can you take me over here so I can see my homies? Like, how am I gonna do that? Like, like,
so
I'm Mexican fool. We're not that rich.
so with me, it's different. With my crew that I grew up with, the guys like I hung out with in high school, it's just a handful of us, and we're still cool.
Yeah.
Like, if I called one of them, and like, for example, my homie Jesus, we always did that whole town thing. And if I had a problem and I go like, hey, we need to take care of something now. I need something done now. I need a favor. He'll answer me like, whose car are we taking? And that's it. And I'll be like, that's right. That's how, you know. And I see him and it's a hug and everything. Same thing with Bobby, Bundy, and the list goes on. You know, my best friend passed away a couple years ago, and I had a fallout with him at the end of my high school year, and I was with him since like first grade. I met him when we used to live in Pueblo, so some trailer parks.
Yeah.
In the hood. And we were inseparable for like the longest time. Some shit happened. We stopped talking. I didn't start talking to him, like rekindling my relationship with my best friend until like maybe when I was like 28, when I had Noah 28. And then he passed away a year after that. Oh, so it like took a toll on me. Like, so after that, I like, until now, I'm the one that distanced myself away from my homies, because I felt like, and I still feel this way, like I don't deserve homies like the way I have them, because the homie that was always there for me since day one, I turned my back on them for some stupid shit, and I never apologized, even though I apologized to him and he apologized to me and we squashed it.
Yeah.
I never hung out with him. Every time he used to be like, "Hey, let's go," and I was with someone else, and then he'll be like, "Let's go have a beer or something." I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll hit you up later," and I never will, you know. And it's not that chick's fault, because she never told me anything. It was just my own fault, because I felt betrayed.
Yeah.
Because he was my homie, so I saw him more like a brother. But like with me, the other guys that I have, Sal and all the rest of them, Edwin, that were like that. If I call them, they'll be like, yeah, whatever you need a favor. Same thing with me. If they call me, it'll be the same thing. So
I think that's
maybe because it's a small town.
it's a well, not just that, but it's a lesson learned. You know, like when something happens to you that dramatic, like you kind of learn from that shit.
Fucks you up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Like, so I had a homegirl that so just a little backstory. I used to be a is it an extrovert that's outgoing? Yeah, right.
I guess.
Yeah, so there's extrovert and introvert. Introverts are the ones that don't want to hang out with anyone or anything like that or shit like that, right?
Let me just clear this up. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I was just agreeing with him, just so I could sound cool for you guys, but I don't fucking know.
So
he could have just told me this shit. I'm in or out, and I would have been like, yeah. But crazy or not, or would have, But those big ass words is like, let me Wikipedia this bullshit.
Let me get the dictionary.
I'm like, turn on this TV and let me figure this shit out.
Yeah. All right, so an introvert is a person that doesn't like being around big crowds, doesn't like going out.
Oh, someone that drinks Modelo pineapple?
Yeah, someone that
All right.
So, extrovert is a person that loves going out, and Gabriel, for instance.
A Modelo guy, yeah.
Okay. All right, so I used to be an extrovert, right? I used to go out with my cousins all the fucking time. I used to, wherever they went, I went. I used to be out and about all the time. And so I met this girl. She was my insurance girl. Mm-hmm. Right? So I had just gotten a Mustang. Fucking, I needed to go get insurance. So I went and most beautiful girl to me at the time, right? Yeah. I see her, I was like, fuck, I hope she helps me. Like, when you walk it, you get in somewhere, you just look at them and like, damn, I hope they help me. Like, you go next.
Before, when I wasn't married, yes. Now that I'm married, I don't give a fuck. You hear that, babe? You hear that? Continue with your story.
Right? Should I eat you out? And as luck would have it, she helped me out. Right? I was so fucking nervous. I was shy. I was like, fuck. Like, how do I talk to this girl, right? How do I get her number? How do I pull a fast one on her? So she goes like, "Oh, you drive a Mustang?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just got it. Just need to get insurance on it." She's like, "Oh, okay." She goes,
"Is it horses?
How many horses does it have?"
Horsepower.
So she goes, is it automatic or is it standard? I'm like, "Oh, it's standard." She goes,
"Oh, as long as she doesn't say shake and bake."
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
I don't think that movie was out yet.
It wasn't?
I don't think so. I think it came. Oh, maybe. Yeah. So she goes, "Oh, is it standard?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a standard." She's like, "Oh, maybe you can teach me." I was like,
"Yes."
Oh yeah, I could teach you. Little did she know, I was barely fucking learning too.
He's a learning. He was grinding shit.
Like shit. I was barely fucking learning too. I'm like, we can learn together. So
you were Paul Walker,
and the story gets worse. No, the story gets worse. So check this out. So I get her number. She gives me her number.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. I leave there all happy and fucking whatever. I get home. So a couple days later, maybe a few days later, she hits me up. She's like, "Oh, can you pick me up? Can you take me to work?" Fuck yeah. Let me go pick you up. So I go pick her up, right? I pick her up and fucking clutch goes out.
Because you fucking were grinding gears.
No. So the clutch was already bad. The clutch was already bad because I don't know how a clutch is supposed to feel, right? I didn't know at the time that it's supposed to be smooth when you click.
Your shit was hard.
The shit was already hard
when I got it. That's how it was in my Toyota.
That shit was already hard when I got it, right? So I didn't know that though. I'm barely learning. I'm looking up YouTube videos how to fucking drive, and
YouTube teaches you everything.
Yeah, YouTube teaches you everything. So I was really bad at second gear for some reason. First gear, I had it down.
Everybody that drives stick shift for the first time ever, second gear is the hardest. Yeah. You know, people don't say it. For me, second gear was the hardest.
I don't know why though. Like every time I was shifting to the second gear, like I'm like fuck, you know. So then and when I got the car, it had that bad clutch already, right? So when I went to go pick her up, finally, I'm fucking smoothing it, going in and out. So when I get to her house, we're on Jackson Street, going left onto 111, and the fucking clutch goes out. Boom. Oh. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm tripping out because I don't know what the fuck's going on. I didn't know the clutch went out, and then it was moving so fucking slow. Yeah, it's like it was so slow. So
and the clutch went all the way down. Huh?
Yeah, so I had to go into the back roads, and
all embarrassed. You're like, I ain't getting my dick sucked no more.
Like shit, I lost this battle. Like so, but luckily enough, she was cool. She was cool about it. She's like, what happened? I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna find out later on today. So she gets picked.
You drove?
So I drove. So she lived on by the poly pool.
Oh, so you picked her up from work?
No. I picked her up at her house. I was taking her to work.
So she never made it work?
She did make it to work. So I picked her up at poly pool. I go to AM/PM. I make it to AM/PM, and she gets picked up by her friend.
A guy or a girl?
Girl. I know. If it was a guy, I would have been like, I don't know. But no, she got picked up, and I was so fucking embarrassed. I was like, damn, this girl's not going to talk to me no more. And sure enough, she hits me back up, right? So we start talking again. I get the clutch fixed, and then I start fucking going all ham on that clutch. I was fucking peeling out everywhere, picking her up, taking, we're just hanging out. And to the point of the story about, back to what you were saying about, really, enjoying your friends, like having that friend that you never lose touch with, because you never know what can happen, right? Your friend died the year after Noah. So with her, and it comes with a heavy heart, one day she got out of work. I picked her up, and we got to her house or whatever, and she asked me if I can take her to go get a car, go look for a car, because I knew somewhat about cars or whatever at the time, and I told her, you know what, I can't. I gotta pick up my kids, and
damn you kids.
No, and the shitty part was, my ex didn't even give me my kids.
Damn, that's a suck.
So I could have taken her. I could have had a night with her, and at the time we were really close. This was like 3 months later, and 2-3 months later, and we were cool. And then like I was building up the courage to finally like ask her out, right? And so what happened was,
so you weren't smooth like I was.
No, I didn't want to,
because I was smooth with your sister.
No. So I could have moved in sooner. I don't know. I wanted to take my time with this one. Like she was something else. She was special, and I wanted to take my time. I wasn't a whore bag like some people.
Hey, she knew what she got herself. I told her, you can't make a hoe into a housewife, babe.
Let me show you the whole.
But
facts.
I'm a hoe. I'm not like.
Let me show you the whole facts real quick. No, so then she hits up some other fool to pick her up. I was whatever about it. She got picked up, and I said bye to her. And that was the last night that I heard from her.
Oh, shit.
She keep it short, she was murdered.
Oh shit.
It was on the news. It was about it was on the news, and I remember the next day I was hitting her up. Like,
Yeah, because you didn't know.
We would always text in the mornings. Every day we would be texting, and yeah, I didn't get the text, right? And then the days went by, and I was fucking worried. The investigators came to talk to me because, you know,
you were the last person.
Supposedly I was the last person, and everyone saw her leave with someone in the black car. And obviously that was me. Mm-hmm. And so when they came to speak to me, they were asking me about her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend. They were asking me how come I didn't ask her out. I'm like, damn, bitch, what does that matter to you? Like, kind of like, you weren't smooth. Like, nah, bitch.
Hey, are you pussy? Are you pussy?
Right? Like,
you scared of that?
Like, the questions they were asking was so inappropriate. Like, she was a beautiful girl. How come you never, like, bitch, what does that matter to you?
They were trying to see if you were a killer, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. No, in hindsight, yes. Yeah, I can see. They probably thought I was that guy from You or whatever.
Wait, me or the stupid show?
The show.
I was like, damn, I never seen that shit. But
no, I wouldn't recommend it if you're a psycho. But yeah, no, they came to speak to me, and you know, the following week on Wednesdays when they announced on the news, and I remember my mom coming in telling me, I'm sorry, mijo. And I was like, I already knew what she was talking about. You know, when she came in saying, I'm sorry, I fucking cried my ass off, dude. I remember my boss calling me. My boss even knew about this girl. Like, that's how much this girl, like, was special to me. This girl was, like, my boss knew about her. So he called me, like, hey, if you don't want to come into work, you know, I would understand. I'm like,
you cool?
Yeah, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna go in, like, nah. Like, I don't want to be left alone. Yeah. And I went to work, and, like, I left early that day. I couldn't. It fucking, that shit sucked, dude. Yeah. And it goes back to, you know, appreciating the people around you. Yep. Like, because you never know, like, what's going to happen to them.
Trust me, life is crazy, dog.
Yeah. And ever since that day, I went from being an extrovert to a fucking introvert. I stopped hanging out with people. I stopped. Yeah. You know, I lost a lot of contact with people because I couldn't bear the fact that something like this could happen. Yeah, you know, I never thought this shit couldn't happen to me. Like, you hear about it in
fucking shows and shit.
Yeah, like you see it on, you know, murder mysteries and shit like that, and you never think that can happen to you. Yeah, yeah. You know, and so when it did happen to me, I cut myself off from everyone. You know, and at the time, I was broken up with this girl that I was with for a while. I called her up because I was so concerned about her after that. You know, I was like I love this girl. So I called her. I'm like, hey, like, don't go out. Like, I was like, what are you doing? You know, and we got back together, and we were together for a while and after that. And, but yeah, like, I became an introvert after that. Like, I stopped going out. Like, I didn't want to be around people, especially since people were looking for me. Yeah. My cousin's wife's brother worked at the morgue. Mm-hmm. And he's the one who picked up the body. He said it was all fucked up. Like, they you know, god damn. And I guess his that fool's wife or some shit is cousins with her. And the family was looking for the person that was with her last. And I was
They thought it was you?
Yeah, so my cousin told me, like, hey, don't go out. Don't do this. I'm like, dude, I don't even feel like going out anymore. Yeah. Like, I just can't. You know, this is all fucked up. I can't do this. You know? And yeah, that's.
Did they ever find the guy?
2 years later. Damn. 2 years. But because he was in Mexico.
Oh, okay. But they knew who the guy was right away?
Yeah, well, because so when she initially made that call, she was speaking to this guy in Spanish, in pure Spanish, nothing but Spanish. She's like, hey, da-da-da, you know. And between the hour that I was with her, she only made that one call. Because when we would hang out, we wouldn't text anyone. We wouldn't answer our phones. It was just me and her. So when she made that call, that was the only call that she made out. So I told them that. So with that little piece of information, I think led up to the guy's arrest. Yeah. But because he was in Mexico, he fled to Mexico thinking that 2 years later, I'm fucking free to come back. They caught him in Calexico. Wow. So they caught him, and then I had to go to court. I had to testify. I had to do all that shit. I couldn't stay for the like. I only went to go testify.
Yeah.
I couldn't be in there.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be in there to see the photos because they do
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
shit.
they do all that.
I couldn't. Like
Don't blame me.
I wanted to remember her the way,
That's the way.
I
Yep.
I last saw her, and fuck man, that shit fucking hurts every year, and it happened in May. Every fucking year when that shit comes up, I can't do it, man.
It happens, bro.
Yeah,
It happens.
but again, back to is the people that you are close with. Don't hold grudges, man. It's not best. Like,
Nah, it's not worth
I
it.
regret having, holding a grudge against my sister because God forbid if anything happened to her or anyone that I had a grudge against that I love, it's all petty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not worth it. I learned that. I learned that the hard way. Till this day, every time I go I haven't been. I'm not gonna lie. But every birthday of his, his anniversary, Day of the Dead, I take him flowers. I take my tia flowers, and every time it's like it just sucks because the last time I spoke to him was we were getting ready. We were getting fitted for my homie's wedding, and we were in LA, and he was in UCLA, and then I remember I called him up, and then my homies, because they knew him too, they're like, "You want to go visit that fool? Let's go visit him," because he wanted us to go see him, and he had 2 little girls at that time, or you know, and I remember he told me, he's, "Oh yeah, come by." He's on my little girl and my wife is here with my mom. Once they're, you know, gone, or you could come by and they'll leave for a bit, and then you could go. And I think that's what bothered me, but at the same time, it doesn't bother me because I didn't know he was gonna pass on, but like something told me, and I remember I told him straight off, I'm like, nah, just spend time with your girls. I'm like, when you get better, we're gonna go to Mazatlan, where my dad's from, because he's been there with me. I'm like, we're gonna fucking hang out. My boys are gonna hang out with your girls and all this, and then
we're gonna party.
Like we used to, and then a week later he passed away. So I never got to see him. Never got to see me, and then like the last time I hung out with him was we're playing beer pong at my mom's pad, like all random. Like one night, we just started drinking, and then my little sister's like, "Hey, you want to call him?" And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah." We called him. He came by. We're playing beer pong, and then that was the last time I hung out with him. And then he met my other homie, that I'm cool with, and then he never met him. He's from Orange County, and then it was just crazy. And he's all Alex and him were talking, and Alex was telling him all the shit that we used to do growing up, and they were hammered. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just happy that he actually called me, this and that." My sister showed me the messages that he wrote to her, like, "Oh, I missed your brother. Like, I'm stupid. He's stupid. We should never." And to this day, like I remember that shit, and it like hits me. And then when I go see him at the cemetery, like I know that I'm like, fuck, I should never hold a grudge, and I did the stupidest thing, and I regret it to this day, and nothing I could do or say could bring him back, you know. But at the same time, I was happy that his girls got to spend more time, because at the end of the day, like I told him, I seen you, bro. Like I seen you. We grew up together, you know. You're my homie. But you know what's crazy is that for the longest time, for almost 2 years after he passed away, I had a guilt trip. Like I had that big old guilt trip of everything, and then I had a dream with him, dog.
Yeah. It's I blamed myself for the longest time. I always blamed the fact that, maybe I should have just fucking hit her back up and tell her, hey, you know what? I didn't pick up my kids. Can we go? I'll pick you up, whatever. I always blamed myself for like a good year and a half. I blamed myself for her death and whatever. Even though it wasn't my fault. And that's the thing is, I think when someone passes on that you're close to, and you kind of regret certain things, and you start playing the blame game. Like there's I think it's 5 stages of
grieving.
grief. Yeah, and I went through all of them until I finally accepted the fact that,
they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I couldn't done everything happened.
Yeah, it's your conscience that lets it go.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people will be like, no, it is because
I mean, you have people around you that will tell you that no, it's not your fault, but you don't care. You don't care about no one's opinion at that point. You just you're stuck in this mindset of fuck everyone else. This is my fault. That's how bad that those 5 stages are, and then you go through them, and at the end of it, you finally come to that acceptance of they're gone.
Yeah, it's crazy because I had that dream with him, and I was working Home Depot. He passed away when I was working in Home Depot, and then I remember he was in a white Honda Civic. Oh no, sorry, a white Acura RXX. He had one of those little Type S, twin turbo, fast. That shit was clean. But anyways, it was crazy because I was pushing a fucking cart, helping a customer, like load up a customer, my dream. And I'm wearing my fucking orange apron, and then I see someone get out of the car, and then I see this fool, and I see this vato like the way I seen him in high school. Like when I saw him, and I saw my reflection on the window of the fucking car, I looked like when I was in high school. No beard, no hair.
I can't imagine you without hair.
Handsome. And then he looks at me and he goes, "What's up?" I'm like, "Yo, what up?" And then he shakes my hand and he gives me a hug and he goes, I'm okay, dog, right?" And I'm like, "Nah, fool." I'm like, "I'm sorry." And he goes, "We squashed it a long time ago." He's like, "You're always going to be my brother and I love you." And I tell him, "I love you too, bro." And he goes, "I'll catch you on the flip side." And then, by the way, he was a diehard Dodger fan. I'm a Dodger fan as well. And then he rolls down his window and he goes, and I tell him, "Are we going to take it this year?" And that's when fucking Houston beat the Dodgers. And then he goes, "Nah, not our year this year." And I'm like, "Oh, fool." And he goes, "You know what?" He's like, "You'll get what I mean." He gets in the car and he takes off. And that was the last time. And I felt like a relief after that.
Now, do you believe that those type of dreams is your conscience, or is actually it's actually that person telling you do you believe in the spirits coming to you in a dream form and telling you, like, so relaying that message to you? Because I've had dreams where I got visited by my uncle who passed away. And I hadn't dreamed of him for years. I've never dreamed of him. And one day I dreamt of him. Wow. And it was a fucked up dream. I'm just gonna state that. Like, when I saw him, the first thing I said was, "Aren't you dead?" But do you think when you have those dreams, do you think it's something spiritual where it's actually that person visiting you, or it's just your subconscious just telling you're just telling yourself like you're like it's okay?
Yeah. Well, I could answer this question like a million different ways because, the first thing I grew up Catholic. I'm Catholic. That's simple as that. And I've been baptized and all that. My first communion and all that. I went to school. I used to go to church all the time. So I grew up like in a family where, we believe if someone passes away, you got to show respect. You got to go to the cemetery and you got to do all that. Growing up, it was like, I knew that stuff like that existed, like ghosts and stuff like that, because I had like ghost experience growing up in Mexico because my great grandma passed away and my homies was sleeping on their bed and we fucking were doing bad shit outside, smoking weed, and some crazy shit happened. That's another story, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was in there, my homie Alex, in that room with us, and then when your sister got sick, it hit me hard, and I remember she was in the hospital for the first week that she was in there, and then like I was your mom used to always tell me like, just pray, mijo, pray, pray, pray. She's, I know you're like going crazy, and I used to go outside in the garage and work out in the Bowflex, and I, I I'm not gonna lie, I was working on the trim, and I done the Virgin Mary walk from Palm Springs to Coachella for my homie's mom that passed away with my homies,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started doing cardio, and I worked out. I did cardio for almost 2 hours and a half, and I never do cardio for that much. I do cardio for like 20 minutes, and then I walked for 2.5 hours nonstop, and I was crying. I couldn't stop crying because I thought she was, because
Mm-hmm.
the doctor scared the shit out of us, and like I remember when that mass was growing on their neck, and I told the Virgin Mary, I was like, if she gets better, I promise you, I'm like the moment. And then the pandemic hit. I'm like the moment this shit is over, the whole pandemic, I'll walk the Virgin Mary walk for her. I'm like, and I won't stop. I told them I won't take no fucking breaks. I will just go straight from Palm Springs to Coachella, 23-mile walk. I'm like, I won't stop. And 2 years went by, almost a year went by already, and they're not gonna have another Virgin Mary walk this year. And like back to the whole spiritual thing and everything. I think there is something out there because we were created and shit like that, and we have feelings and we feel shit. But it's crazy because the moments I used to pray and the moments I looked for God, I felt more relief, and I had I had a peace with myself. Like I had to tell myself that if this was cancer and she was gonna die, that I will be okay without her, because for the first 2 weeks I was in denial, like I was angry.
Yeah.
Why her? Why always she getting sick? Why this and that? And always putting the blame on other people and other shit. And then one day it just hit me.
What sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
what they have it on the 12th, right?
Yeah.
December 12th is when they have the Virgin Mary
Yep.
walk. Fuck, I'm down just to do it without anyone else. Me and you
I'm down.
on the 12th.
It's
Why wait?
yeah, I know. I don't like talking about it like about your sister because that shit hits me.
No, I know, and
And,
I can.
and
I mean,
to this day, because
but you know what though? Like I can relate to what you said right now about when you like today. For instance, I called up my old manager, and I was talking to her about everything that's going on with me and shit like that, and she told me something, and she's like, you know what? If it wasn't for God, like I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, man.
And I was like fuck. You know what? I can relate to that because we grew up Catholic and all that.
Yeah.
But we never really went to church. Yeah. We went to church, but not as often as you should go, right? Yeah. So when all this happened for the last 2 months or whatever, like I just been down and out, and I just what I'm gonna start praying.
Yeah, there's something up above or something there that was embedded in our heads.
Yeah.
That because if we have feelings, if I could cry for someone or someone could make me cry because they don't love me, or someone I love is sick and I could cry, or I could get fucking horny, or I could get mad, all those emotions.
Yeah.
Then who the fuck created us to have that shit? Because if not, we would have been like just fucking robots, no feelings, nothing. And then we would have been like, oh, I'm going to die soon. And then, someone dies and it fucking hurts. And that hurts. Like you said to yourself, 5 stages of grief and all that shit. And you don't know until, like, something shit like that hits. And then, like, with that, like, I was in a hole so fucking bad at that time. And she was sick. And I did not know what to do. My mom would pray. Your mom would pray. Everybody would pray. And I wasn't talking to none of my homies. All my homies knew about it, but they would leave me alone because I wouldn't answer texts and all that shit. Mm-hmm. And I was secluding myself because the people I was expecting, not expecting, actually, the people that I thought that.
The people that you were hoping for. to be there, right?
Maybe not even not to tell you the truth, not even hoping for that. It was, I think it was more like I had to find this shit on my own.
Yeah.
And I didn't need anybody around me, because I was waiting for like my sisters or my mom or my dad to come around and be like, oh, you should pray, you should do this. And then when I went to work at that time, I was working for an electrical company, and all the two women that worked there, I'm gonna say their names because I don't care, because they're cool. They know, Jennifer and Amber, big old Christian women. Um, they found out that she was sick. The moment I walked in, and they looked at my eyes, and I didn't let nobody know that she was sick. And I explained the moment there, and they're like, boom. They prayed for me the first time. And then they prayed for me the next day. And they prayed for me a whole week straight, nonstop praying. And I get there on Monday, and it was the same thing. By Friday, the next week when I got paid, I walked in. They weren't praying no more. They prayed, and then they were so busy with work because it's Friday, was payday.
Mm-hmm.
They were running up and down. And then the guy that used to be my supervisor, Brian, good guy, another Christian guy, he's a pastor. He was in his office, and I walk in, and he goes, hey, how's everything with your wife? I'm like, good. And I told I want to thank you guys for praying for me and my wife and my family. Everything's okay. Thank you for you guys. And then I'm like, is it okay if I say a quick prayer with you guys? And they're like, and they just looked at me and they smiled. And then Brian's all like, that's what I've been waiting for, man, for you to accept it. The moment you accept it, the moment shit comes. Like, he didn't cuss, of course, but that everything changes.
We tend to add those make it a little bit more dramatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck. No, but I get I get what you're saying though, because like it's like what he said. The moment you accept it,
accept it, man.
And
my exception, and I believe there's a God, but at the same time, I think, and I told your sister, this is crazy, maybe because I'm always high or something, but I think the way I see it is, and then my theory is fucking nuts, maybe because I'm always stoned or something. The way when there's no history, or there's no machine, or there's nothing in our history that could translate what babies say. Babies always talk blah blah blah, goo goo goo, man. They point at shit.
Yeah.
How the fuck do we know if humans, when we die, we don't get reincarnated to someone else? Maybe we're a woman or a guy in our past life, type of thing.
There's a religion.
Well, Buddhism, and then Hinduism, Hinduism. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about if we don't get reincarnated every time? So if you get reincarnated after you die, but you don't accept Jesus or accept God, then you don't go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? You go back, and this is hell. Because, the way I see it is, because why did God create feelings? If we go to heaven, everybody that we love and we admire is going to be there. So when you're up there in heaven, what's the whole point of being in love? Because everybody you love is there. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're here, you're expecting that. You're expecting to find love. You're expecting to make money. You're expecting your kids to follow a good step. What about if, that's what I'm trying to get to, is what about this is not it's almost like hell, or it is hell, or this is the step before we go to hell?
I believe that this is, because there's a heaven and hell, right? And then there's purgatory. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah, so it's neither or, right? It's neither hell or
betweener.
I believe that this is purgatory, right?
Yeah.
It's neither heaven or hell. It's right in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that this is purgatory. And whatever actions we take or whatever we do leads up to the next step, whether it's heaven or hell.
Exactly. So that gets to the whole point of what I'm saying is, because all the religions in the world, they are the same thing. They all believe in one God. And there's always a bad and there's always a good.
Well, except for like Greek mythology and
of course, because they believe in different gods.
Yeah.
But one of those gods created that God. The
Right.
same thing with that's how it is. But that's what I'm trying to get to, is like, What about if we you keep getting reincarnated every fucking time until you believe in God? That's your punishment. You get what I'm saying? And then you go through the feelings of getting hurt, getting betrayed.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
in that sense,
Until
that would be hell.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Because
in hell,
because even in Muslims,
yeah,
they say themselves, this is not where you guys want to be. If you blow yourself up, you go straight to heaven. You know what I'm saying? That's their religion, and that's Al Qaeda or whatever. Who the fuck they, they do that. But if you kill and you go to the Holy Land, if you kill yourself for your God in their eyes, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, they do it they have a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Whatever it is. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not 100%
sure on that, but
yeah.
I mean, we'll look that up. But
yeah, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing because look, if you he sacrificed himself for God, for Allah, or what Allah. My bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with Jesus. If you commit suicide, you go to hell.
Yeah.
It's a sin. But if you give yourself up if you sacrifice yourself for someone else, for like the great of good, you go straight to the kingdom. For example, have you ever seen the movie Constantine?
No.
With Keanu Reeves? That's
No.
a hell of a movie, man. Well, if you watch that shit, then you start realizing, is there a God? Because all the stuff that they talk about. Well, anyways, he was supposed to go to heaven. He was supposed to go to hell, but he committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
So when he committed suicide, he saw hell and everybody burning that commit suicide and all that shit. And he got a second chance. They brought him back to life. But the only reason he stayed alive is because God gave him a second chance, and that second chance was to kill demons. And they made it's a comic book. It's a Marvel comic book, to tell you the truth, but it is. But it has a story with a Bible.
That's DC.
It is DC. My bad. Sorry, DC. My bad. They're gonna kick my ass. It is DC.
You're gonna get.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck? Yeah. But you know what I mean. And so back to that whole story when the angel comes back to kill everybody, Gabriel. When the devil let his son out and the demons were out and blah blah blah, that bullshit. The girl that was the chosen one to let the devil out and all that shit. They were gonna kill her, so Gabriel was gonna kill her, and when that fool was gonna try to stab her, the Constantine got in the way and he sacrificed himself for her. So
and that's what led him to.
And then he went to heaven, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And God stopped. It was a whole thing if you see the movie. But that's what I'm saying. Back to the religion of being Muslim is the same thing. If you stop and think about it, he's doing it for a reason for God.
Yeah, I mean,
the same thing.
Yeah, they all have a reason. Everyone has a reason to do something for God, whether it's misleading or not. I mean, they do it for a purpose.
And then it like if you like I'm saying like I think once you find a true meaning, I guess, in life, and then some people can and some people won't. Like I found the meaning, even though she found God herself and Adriana found God, I think she still is in denial of it, even though she knows he's there. I think she puts it to question every time because not everything is going the way.
You know what? I get what she's going, and when I had that conversation today with my manager, she pointed out is like not everything has to make sense.
No,
not everything has to go the way you want it to go. We all have God has a plan for us, and He sets us up for us to, I guess you could say it's test that He puts us through, right? And it's to test our strength, our faith, and all that, right? Yeah. So there's gonna be things that come our way that we wanted to go a certain way, right? Obviously, everything that happens in our life, we want it to go the best way possible, right? I want to get money. I want to get rich. I want to have this. I want to have that. But then you can be leading up to that point, and then a left curve happens.
Yeah.
And then you won't get what you want. So, what she was telling me was that, as much as God can give you, He can also take from you.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what you have to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
As far as giving your thanks, right? Every and she was telling me, pray every morning, pray every night, give your thanks, be thankful for what you have, and because as much as it came easy to you, as you feel like it came to you, it could be taken away.
Yeah, people have it bad. People don't know.
And you know, she told me something today that I'm not gonna put it on blast or anything, but she told me something today that she's been going through. Right, I knew somewhat of what she was going through because she would tell me, but there was something that had happened recently that I was taken back by. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that happened? She goes, yeah, like, I've been going through this, but because I have God, because I have faith in God, you know, I'm here.
Yeah,
you know, I'm here with my daughter. I'm going to work. You know, I feel good about, you know, myself and stuff like that. And fuck, man, when she was telling me all that stuff, like, I just, it hit me because, you know, as much as I like to think I worked for everything, right? And yeah, of course, obviously, you know, you put in the work, but
yeah, of course,
you know, it's whether it's you believe in God or not, it's laid upon you, and you know, again, I'm grateful for everything that I have, you know, because I worked at it.
Yeah.
But look, man, like, I quit my job, and as much as it's as easy as I got it, I can lose it tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, I started out of nowhere. I just, you know, I felt so shitty. I out of nowhere, I just, you know what, I'm gonna pray. I have this cross that my mom gave me.
Yeah.
And I got it, put it down, and I just started praying, and because I started praying, I think what it is just because I had so much to let out, and I let it out. You know,
and you don't think nobody wants to hear your problems.
Exactly, and because, and let's be honest, no one wants to hear your problems because it's a burden. As much as people would love to tell you, no, you could tell me whatever. It's not a burden. Like, it's a fucking burden.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear your shit because they have their own shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And that's the way I think. Like, okay, well,
and your shit might be petty compared to their shit.
Yeah.
Because you don't know their problems. Yeah, exactly.
And that's the whole thing too with depression. Like, as much as petty as it sounds, like something so simple, someone else has it worse, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so when I was going through what I was going through, I just felt like I can't tell anyone because, you know, they're not going to understand, right? Exactly. I have something that I need to work on.
Yeah.
And so when I started praying, and I felt such a relief.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I felt so relieved to just let it all out and to kind of put this out there. And you know, as much as it sounds crazy that you're just talking to yourself, you know, like, let's be honest, you feel like you're talking to yourself, but I felt heard.
Yeah.
You know, and after I would pray, it's crazy because after I would pray, whether it's coincidence or not, there was something that happened that kind of like give me a sign type of deal. And again, like, whether it's coincidence or not, something would happen, right?
Yeah,
and you kind of put two to two together, and you're like, oh,
it goes perfect, bro.
It went perfect. Like, they're like shit. So I've been praying every night and every day. Like, I downloaded this app, and I have the Bible on my app.
Yeah,
on my phone or whatever.
I got I don't know. It's not it's like a mini Bible, but it's not a Bible. It's like verses.
Yeah.
And every day you read a verse. When your sister was sick and like I was going through a hard time, every day I read the verse, and everything that was going on that day, it was it.
Yeah.
Everything that was on there was
it's crazy. Like,
it was.
I don't know if this app is hearing me throughout the day, like, but
it's Jesus, he knows, dog.
Like, no, but it's crazy. The verses that came out, that, like, I was going through something yesterday, right? Yeah. And the verse that came out led perfectly to it. I was like, and they're listening.
Yeah, and you know why I think too? Because I get so fucking high, and then when I get so stoned, then like my mind opens up and I believe in a whole bunch of shit. But at the same time, I know there's like, I believe in God, and I always have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody has the potential to be evil, and everybody has the potential to be good. So if you're evil,
Oh, no doubt.
if
Yeah.
you're evil and then you're good, then you know what I'm saying. Then you could believe in God, either one
Mm-hmm.
or not. And then not everybody's gonna believe in someone or in
Yeah.
something. You got your believers or your non-believers. You might have people hearing us and be like, "Man, this is a fucking." I thought this was a podcast. Now these guys are all religious. It's like no,
Yeah. No, it's
because
just
shit like this happens, and
no. I mean, for the longest time, I mean, there was a point in time where I I grew up Catholic, but there was a point in time in my life where I just didn't care about God or or any of that. And I think we all go through that, right?
Exactly.
We all go through our atheist mode or whatever, and it's kind of I can't even think of the word right now, but it's kind of to the point where something happens and now you're looking for him.
Exactly.
But again, it all happens. Everything happens. Everything leads up to something, and everything happens for a reason.
Put it this way: when I was 21, when I was 21, I was dating some chick for a while, and she used to go to church every Sunday with her grandma, and I used to go. When I was 21, and I was going to church, and I was actually telling thanks and everything. For the longest time, I was making so much fucking money because I was always giving thanks, and money wasn't an object for me. I was helping people out and doing a whole bunch of shit, and I lost everything when the economy crashed, and then I started working at a retail store, Home Depot. They weren't paying shit, and I had to learn how to do like the value of a dollar. Then I left that place, and then I was in a rut for a while. And this is before she got really sick. This is way before that. I found God myself. Like, I was asking for help. I wasn't asking my parents. I was talking, by myself, but doing stuff, and it helped me out. And then for a while, I stopped. And then like she got sick, and then everything else, and then two people told me it's a verse it's a verse in the Bible. I'm not exactly sure. So if anybody that's listening is gonna listen to this, they could put it on the comments later. It was something like, God gives the strongest warriors the hardest wars. You get it what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like she's one of them, and that's what I told her. So
Yeah, I do believe that.
yeah.
We all get put through these trials, and it's crazy. I forgot where I saw this at, but it's you ask God to give you strength, but He gives you a moment in time to show your strength, right?
In the moment right now, I'm gonna get my ass whooped. She keeps blowing up my phone. Now, Ruben. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's we go through our trials and, and stuff like that. So, but you know what?
The succulus is calling me. The cochina, the devil, right now. Like I tell her all the time.
Let's give our prayers to Jose. He's gonna need them when he gets home.
I'm gonna need them.
So, but I think we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
It's been a good convo.
Yes, it has.
So we'll have another session.
Another session soon.
Yeah. So I look forward to hearing out from you guys. Reach out to us in the comment sections. The video is going to be posted on YouTube.
Yes.
The audio is going to be posted on every other platform.
Yep.
You can find us on iTunes and all that stuff. So.
All that.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace out. Thank you for watching and listening. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.